BLUF Gaming here with a quick SCUM tutorial showing how to breach the bunker in Sector B3. I prefer to approach from the south side, and you'll find a breach in the fence somewhere in the center. Before crossing through the breach, check to see if there are any puppets in the area and be sure to take those out first. Once you've done that, watch carefully what the pattern of the mech is that's patrolling in the southern portion, and then time your entrance accordingly. Once you have a clear path, hide behind this rock over here and get a better look at the path that the mech's taking. Once you've learned the pattern, wait until you know that he's headed away from you and won't be looking at the central area of this map for very long. There are some sandbags in the middle that you can see straight ahead. Within the sandbags, you'll find that there's a hatch leading down into the bunker. We want to enter the hatch whenever we're least likely to be seen or shot by the sentry. Once it's open, you'll need to interact with the ladder quickly or you could get spotted. Once down, you are safe. At least, unless there are other players headed your way. You can get out the same way that you came in. Just know that whenever you're near the top, you don't want to get all the way out so that you can look around and see where the mech is before you leave. That's your bottom line up front. If you want more detail, just stick around. Thanks for sticking around. If you're not familiar, this bunker in B3 is located right here at the end of this small white road. Like some other bunkers, it both has a main door and a hatch entrance, and in this instance I prefer entering through the hatch entrance. There's a mech guarding the main door, and its path is often very short and hard to get around. One nice thing about approaching from the south is that once you go through this central breach, you have plenty of room to move around, and it's usually wise to check for puppets, as I often find there may be 2 or 3 in the southern portion that could get in your way. If there are any central puppets in the field, you may be able to outrun them and get down into the bunker without any trouble. Although a spear or a rock doesn't cost you much, and you could lure them out. Listen carefully for the mech before you approach the rock. He can spot you going toward it sometimes, and you want to make sure that you don't get spotted. Even if you don't get shot, once a mech spots someone, its lights will turn red. Anytime after the mech's lights turn red because it spotted you, in the future it won't give you the warning before it starts to shoot. To get an idea of the mech's pattern, I like to hang out around this tree by the rock. If you're a little bit to the left, sometimes you can be spotted, so it's good to stay right behind here as you listen first before you try to go out and actually look. We can see the mech just over the rock here. It should go to the left a bit, and then once it starts to get quiet, we'll be able to sneak over a little bit and get a better look. Look for the sandbags, and once you've spotted them, you can plan your approach. I think a straight run from here will be okay once the mech goes back to the position it was just in, so let's wait it out on the other side of this rock. I found that a mech's pattern can change a bit. I've even seen some mechs that didn't move at all just because the server loaded it a certain way. So you may find that if you have to reload your game or if a server restarts while you're doing this, the mech's pattern could be different your second time around. Okay, I think now's a good time for us to approach. Remember to keep an eye out for any puppets, and I'm going to wait for him to turn right so that he doesn't catch me in his peripheral vision on his right. I think we're good now. Once you run for it at this point, it's generally a good idea just to go for it even if you hear the warning, because you may be able to get onto the ladder before he starts to shoot. You can close the door if you wish, and if there are players in the area, it's probably a good idea, as you might have a chance of hearing it before they come in. If you watched my other bunker tutorial or any of my other tutorials about the points of interest in the map, you should know that these containers are all highly valuable and can contain very good loot. Rather than go through all that, I'll leave the exploration of this bunker to you. One thing I do want to show you, however, is the other exit, and that way we can see it just from the inside so you can get an idea of what you're in store for should you choose to try to make your way out that way. These large bunker doors don't open completely, so they're terrific for allowing you to get a look outside without being in danger. As you can see, this mech has a very short path that it takes, so you want to make sure that you know exactly where you're going before you attempt to leave. If you do aggro one of the mechs, just run in a zigzag pattern and you should be able to avoid their shots. They're not that great of a shot. This exit is set up like a loading dock, so it's a bit of a drop right there, but you see there's a ramp on either side. If you're trying to enter through one of these bunker doors, I recommend using the ramps, as that way you don't have to worry about being slowed down to jump in case you've gotten aggro from one of the mechs. Alright, we're back at the ladder that leads to the hatch. Let's look at getting out of this place. Getting out is a lot easier than getting in my opinion, mainly because whenever you're getting out, there's no slow part at the end like opening the bunker and going down the hatch. All you have to do is run for the hole in the fence. Like I said earlier, if you do get aggro, all you have to do is zigzag and you should be able to avoid getting shot. If you didn't take out all of the puppets in the area, particularly if there was one near the hatch whenever you came in, that is likely going to be your biggest threat. Whenever you're climbing a ladder like this, every tap of the up arrow will move your hands once. And, just in case you're wondering, once you're at the top rung, the next tap up does put both hands on the top rung rather than leading you out. This is your last chance to look around before you decide when you're going to run, and I think this is a perfect time. I'm just going to run straight south this time, but you do have to jump over those sandbags, so be prepared for that. You don't want to get hung up on that in case you've gotten aggro from something. And we're out. In most bunkers, whenever you're running towards these fences like this, it's not terribly hard to find a breach. The upkeep on them hasn't been all that great. As you can see, it's very easy to get into a bunker once you know how. There's no need to take on the mechs. In fact, I recommend against fighting the mechs, as the amount of ammunition you need to kill one is not quite as good as all of the loot that you'll find inside of a bunker. In fact, most of the gear you find in the bunkers is going to be apparel and weapons. However, keep an eye out on the shelves for small black boxes, as bunkers and points of interest often have ammo boxes on the shelves that you don't find out in the rest of the world. If you like my content and you'd like to see more, please like, subscribe, or comment and let me know. Of course, you can dislike as well, but if you dislike, I'm going to call your best friend and have them get into your phone once when you leave it unlocked, take one of your pictures, and then convert it from GIF to JPEG 5 times lower the quality. Thanks for watching BLUF Gaming. See you next time.